that there's some injuries that are lingering, but overall, the spirits are high. Guys are ready to continue to compete. And on top of that, guys, you got to remember, it's a marathon, not a sprint. You're seeing just a small sample size of what could be. We've seen with this team what they're able to do in the last 6 of their games and what they're going to be able to do here tonight and in front of the Magic family and community. Yes, because you guys are family and our community. But continuing to lock in with us on TikTok and all of our social media platforms. I just want to say thank you guys so much for joining us. Don't forget, you can head over to FanDuel Sports Network to lock in with Magic Live, the pregame show at 6:30. I just saw Coach Hill, Nick Anderson's here, Bo Outlaw is here. I think Dan Savage is about to join us real quick. We're going to get a few minutes with Dan Savage over here. Oh, hello, Mr. Sa. I love when people just come and join us. Real quick before we go, let's get to your storylines. You just heard Coach Mosley, literally. What do you want to see from this Magic team tonight?
Well, it's always good when Coach Moses' priorities and storylines line up with mine.
Don't you love that?
I just love it. And as you could tell from the fact that I just ran over here, I didn't have time to prep these, so they were right on. But number one is going to be next man up. You have Paolo out. You're going to need other guys to step up. In my opinion, I expect that to be more Tristan Da Silva and more Jonathan Isaac. So you're going to need 2 of those guys to continue to have the type of impact they've been having, but with additional minutes. And that means, exerting yourself more. 2, they're going to have to be the aggressors.
Yes.
When a team's 1-10 like the Brooklyn Nets, they've got nothing to lose. They're going to come out hungry, trying to get a road win. And the Magic have to establish their presence right out of the gate and rally behind the crowd here at Kia Center. And then number 3, defend the three-point line. The Nets are not the best three-point shooting team in the NBA. In fact, they're among the worst. However, they put up the 5th most shots from the three-point line in the NBA, and Michael Porter Jr. is a key factor of that, and he could get hot at any time. So you don't want a team to be the one that gets hot against you.
Yeah.
And so that's what I expect the Magic to do, run the Nets off the three-point line, make them take difficult mid-range shots, and I expect the Magic to come out with a win if they could do those 3 things.
I love that. I love that so much. You're giving us so many good nuggets, especially since you just listened to head coach Jamal Mosley. You're watching Courtside Countdown presented by Hard Rock Bet. I'm Kendra Douglas, Dan Savage. Don't forget, guys, again, that tonight's game will be on FanDuel Sports Network, your home for the Orlando Magic, and you can watch that game tonight at 7 and the pregame show at 6:30. Thank you guys so much for joining us. I love this. Bo came on here first, then you came on here to give us your nuggets. It was just a complete show. We made it. We made it. But let's look at this upcoming schedule before we head out. So you and I, we're getting on the road really soon.
Right back at it.
Yep, get back up at it again, and we'll go to Houston, then we'll come back. But there's going to be some really good games at home. You got a little West Coast guys coming in for a little bit, plus the Knicks will also in that mix as well. So you're going to have Golden State, and then you're going to have the Clippers. These are all good games you guys want to be at, and you guys want to cheer this Magic team on because they're going to need it to take down Harden and to take down Steph Curry.
No question. I haven't even unpacked from the Knicks trip yet, and I still got to pack for the one we head out tomorrow. So a lot's ahead for the Orlando Magic, but I expect some big wins along the way that could really ignite this team moving forward.
I completely agree. I completely agree. Well, that will do it for us on Courtside Countdown presented by Hard Rock Bet. Thank you so much for checking in with us, locking in with us. We will see you on the road, and then we will see you back here at home. So make sure you guys cheer on the Magic and all their games as they continue to increase in the wins and get a win here tonight for a cup game, huh?
Yeah, go over 500 and establish yourself as the undefeated team in your group for the NBA Cup.
I think that would be amazing. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you guys later.
Give the people what they want, cause I got it. I ain't lying. Locked in, I do it just for profit. I ain't lying. Love it how I break it down just like that. I ain't lying. Love it how I run the town just like that. I ain't lying. Love it how I break it down just like that. I ain't lying. Love it how I run the town just like that. I ain't lying. Who said they could top me? Step in the place, I steal the show. Said they happy checking for me, ain't never seen my type before. Love to see me coming, but my haters might just shed a tear. Cause when I put that hammer down, I bet you this whole room clear. Ain't no competition, it's against just me, myself, and I. Checking in the mirror, thinking, how could one chick be so fly? I'm from another dimension. Now that I got your attention, tell me who can do it better. Never the two, never the lesser. Why you all up in my face? What's the deal? Run the city just for fun, cause you know I keep it real. Give the people what they want, cause I got it. I ain't lying. Locked in, I do it just for profit. I ain't lying. Love it how I break it down just like that.
And 10. Welcome in, everybody. Jake Chapman, Chrissy Birdsall here with you up on the radio deck. I don't know if it's Courtside Countdown, Magic Game Day. It's something. We're getting ready for the Brooklyn Nets here tonight. It is an Emirates NBA Cup game. That's exciting. Magic have won 5 of 7. That's very exciting. Won't have Paolo Banchero tonight. Not exciting, but coming off a big win over the New York Knicks on Wednesday night at Madison Square Garden. That was very exciting. Final score of that game was 124-107. Orlando 1-0 in Emirates NBA Cup. I'm not sure what group we're in. Are we in B?
I believe so.
We'll have to check on that. Chrissy Birdsall, our graduate associate. My name is Jake Chapman. I will be on the call tonight as the Magic hope to keep things rolling. A Brooklyn team that comes in at 1-10. Only team they beat this season is the Indiana Pacers, who are also not very good. And so this is one of those games, I don't know if you were listening, but you just got done at times in between stream crashes hearing Jamal Mosley talk about how you can't take these guys lightly. And they not only are they quote-unquote NBA players, we always hear coaches say that when you have a team that's struggling coming in, but they have some very good NBA players, some NBA players with proven track records as well. Maybe not in Brooklyn, but Michael Porter Jr., for instance, over from Denver, he's getting an opportunity, have the ball in his hands a lot more than he did when he was playing next to Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray, etc. So got to look out for that guy, sharp shooting, but as Coach Mosley said, he's got the ball in his hands a lot more. They're letting him play make a lot more, and he's absolutely somebody who can torch you. He comes in shooting 35% from three-point range, 46% from the field as well. Got some pretty good bigs. Nick Claxton, Noah Clowney is a young forward who is getting a good opportunity here. And anytime you play teams like this, you just got to be locked in on the fact that it's a tryout for every Brooklyn Net really this entire season. Whether or not they're trying to carve out playing time there in Brooklyn under Jordi Fernandez or elsewhere, when you have a quote-unquote bad team, a team that's 1-10 through 11 games, everybody has a little bit of a personalized agenda. And so I think, look, it's an NBA basketball game. Somebody could get hot, and we could look up with a couple minutes left in the fourth quarter and be locked in a ball game. So you do have Jalen Suggs tonight. You don't have Paolo Banchero, but hopefully the Magic able to keep it rolling forward and able to get some work done early against this Brooklyn team and cruise for the rest of the night. However, with it being an Emirates NBA Cup game, you got to worry about the differential. That's a little bit of a wrinkle that you throw in there. And to me, and Chrissy, we were both at shoot-around this morning, I think Jamal Mosley is probably the person who most appreciates the fact that this is an Emirates NBA Cup game. When a 1-10 team comes in the middle of November, it's really easy to look forward, especially when you're headed to Houston on Sunday night. The fact that it's a group stage game, I think at the very least ensures that you're going to have a locked-in group from the get-go tonight.
Absolutely, and that's the whole point of the NBA Cup game is to make these games in November be more important than what they might be at this time of the year. You talked about what Jamal Mosley has said. It's great motivation for these guys coming in. They want to go to Las Vegas. They've had some success the last 2 years in the NBA Cup. They want to repeat that and go even further. Wendell Carter Jr. had said before the Celtics game that there's huge motivation for this team. They really want to, come together, and they had that success last year. When they won against the Hornets, they rattled off 10-12 straight wins.
Yep.
And they looked really good. They were able to make it to that knockout stage where they lost to the Milwaukee Bucks. Now they have the chance. They're 1-0 in Group B, have a chance to go 2-0 tonight against the Nets. And it's going to be an interesting game. You mentioned the Nets are 1-10. They're a very young team. And you don't know what's going to happen when you're playing a bunch of guys that average the age of 23 years old. Anything could happen tonight.
You're from New Jersey. Does
Yes.
that mean you're a Nets fan before you became employed by the Orlando Magic?
No.
No, not at all. How old were you when they moved to Brooklyn?
Oh, God.
We don't even need to get into that. You're going to depress me. But it's funny, as because I'm from Cleveland, as somebody, when the Browns moved, it broke all our hearts. I'm not sure anybody in New Jersey cared when the Nets moved to Brooklyn. They didn't move that far. So if you were a Nets fan, God bless you, because it hasn't been a great history. But yeah, that's I don't know. I think it's a little bit interesting that New Jersey lost the Nets, and I didn't really hear anybody complain about it.
Yeah, I think more people talk about the other New Jersey teams. But, I mean, once they moved over there, you don't even want to know how young I was. I was young enough to not remember it. Let's just say that. So when I grew up, I only knew them in Brooklyn.
All right. Got it. What do we have coming in on the comments? Anything that we need we've got a whole bunch of nickname talk, which I am always down for. Jake Herb's mostly talking to himself with all of these. We've agreed that we don't like Frollo, and we're going to have to put Frollo on the shelf for a little while no matter what. I mean, this is going to be Franz's team. I think it's something important to keep in mind. Last year when Paulo went down, Franz was playing all-star caliber basketball until he went down. There was one point where the Magic won 14 of 16 with Franz Wagner at the helm. Let's see, I got his averages right here. 20 games without P last year. Franz was 26, 6, and 6. And he shot 45.7% from the field. He was getting over 20 shots up a game. And so we know Franz Wagner can be the 1A. I think we know Jalen Suggs can be the 1B. We saw all of that last year. Going to be interesting to see what it looks like with Desmond Bane now. He's been playing fantastic basketball over the course of the last couple games. A lot more playmaking. He is team leader in assists for the season. He's got 56 assists on the year. Got that assist figure up to 4.7 assists per game, and we're starting to see the offense come around as well. I know it's not a huge improvement, but when you look down and you see Desmond Bane shooting over 30% from three-point range, that makes you feel good because he was in the mid-20s there for a minute. We knew that was going to be changed pretty quickly, but starting to see the offense click over the last 7 games. Magic 9th in net rating. They are 9th in offensive rating and 7th in defensive rating. And, of course, you've won 5 over the last 5 of the last 7 games. One thing I thought interesting, Chrissy, because you were down there for Coach Mosley's press conference just a moment ago, was Jamal saying, yeah, we've won 5 of 7, but what he likes most is that the guys aren't focusing on the outcome. They're focused on the process. And that goes up. You want to talk about, like, Jordy Fernandez and Jamal Mosley being buddies? Jordy is experiencing what Jamal experienced 4 seasons ago. As you tear this thing down to the studs and you try to build it back up, you try to create a culture. Jamal Mosley is very responsible for the culture that we've built, and it goes back to all of that stuff, detailing the work, trusting the process, let alone the outcome. And I don't think we're here unless you had that mentality going on 5 seasons now. So it's good to see that Jamal Mosley, despite the expectations, hasn't changed. He's still Coach Mose.
Yeah, and there's so much going into that, too. We heard him even earlier today talking about the defense, defending without fouling, ball movement, turnovers. That was something he was really heated about last week when they lost to the Celtics after the NBA Cup game, was the turnovers and the points off of turnovers that allowed the Celtics to win. And then they turned it around against Portland. They continued that strength against the New York Knicks, and that was something he was really proud of that team coming into tonight. And then when he said things that they could improve on, he talked about that defense, guarding your man, sit down and guard, knowing your personnel, and that's something that he really wants to see this team doing tonight.
Yeah, okay, you're starting to get the Mosleyisms down. I like it. Excellent work. She's Chrissy. I'm Jake. We're getting set for the radio broadcast, the audio broadcast, depending on how you listen. Coming up at 6:30, we'll have Magic Tonight, the pregame show with our buddy Brandon Kravitz. Our flagship station tonight in Orlando is going to be FM 104.5. So if you want to listen on the radio in Central Florida, it's FM 104.5. You can always stream us on the Orlando Magic app, on the iHeart app as well. And if you're outside of the listening area, check out SiriusXM or NBA Audio League Pass, which is very affordable. And then you can listen to us all season long from wherever you are on planet Earth. All right, we got comments coming in. Prying talked about how cohesive and active the team stayed in the second half versus the Knicks. He said he feels good about this team. IDK, yeah, I mean, that was obviously a statement win. It was the Knicks team that was coming off a back-to-back, 3-4, whatever. They had some open looks that they didn't knock down, and that's a Knicks team that we're going to see again soon. And I can't wait for when we see the New York Knicks here, which is next Saturday, I believe. Yeah, that sounds right. Which would be the 22nd of November, I believe. Something along those lines. But that's going to be a good rematch back here at Kia Center. And it's going to be a big matchup on Sunday in Houston as we head out on the road to take on one of the league's best in the Houston Rockets with new addition Kevin Durant. Also had a comment about Anthony Black, and he really was the difference maker in the second half the other night. Had 9 of his 17 points in the fourth quarter. Look, you think about what it's going to look like without Paolo Banchero. Yeah, obviously we'll see what happens with the starting lineup. Tristan da Silva, you would think there's a couple other options you might see sliding in for P. The big difference is what happens to the rest of the rotation, right? There's that ripple effect, and all of a sudden, guys like Tyus Jones, guys like